Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you are watching this. This is Therealsamprentice Makes Things Happen, and these are RGB LED Bluetooth controlled floodlights for your garden. I've just installed them in mine. So here's how it went down. Enjoy! So let's head on over to Amazon. There's a sale on these at the moment. Again, they are the Bluetooth enabled LED floodlights. They come in a 2-pack or a single pack, and if you do the maths on it, you might be able to score yourself a bit of a better deal. They come well packaged. You've got them next day. These are a Chinese export, and I even got hold of the manufacturer, and they've been really helpful for this particular review, so thank you to them. And of course, while you're hovering around that like and subscribe button, please hit them as quickly as possible so I don't have to go out this weekend and sell pencils to pensioners. So while trying to find the perfect LED lights for my garden, I did try a number of the Alexa controlled versions, but they just weren't as good. And they're also low wattage as well. Really, in my garden, to cut it, it needs to be at least 60 watts, which of course these are. So before cutting any plugs, I decided to check them all first. Then I cut the plugs off. Now I have spoken to the manufacturer, and he has suggested that it's best not to cut the plugs, but it was a little bit unclear on whether or not this validates the 3-year warranty. The point is, of course, that these have been tested, and I have tested them, and I want to wire them into a proper ring main, so it's kind of best for me, really. So that's what I did. I'm sure my wife's going to be really impressed that she's in the background of this. I don't even know what she's doing. Something to do with tomatoes, I think. Anyway, there you go. So at this point, I'm stripping the cables back, just making sure that things are going to be a little bit easier for me as I go into the garden and get in amongst everything. I guess it's at this point as well, I should really put some sort of disclaimer in that if you're not a qualified electrician, then maybe you shouldn't be doing this. I'm not a qualified electrician, but I know my way around cables, and I've electrocuted myself a few times already now throughout my life, so, you know, yeah. But in all seriousness, if you do not feel comfortable doing anything like this, I would suggest you don't. So at the moment, still cutting the cables, and what the idea is that I'll be running these round into a ring main. So the way that these lights work is via Bluetooth. I believe it works on Apple and Android, and you need to download an app called Mesh Lamp. There is one particular element that doesn't seem to work on the app, which is the music feature, but that doesn't really bother me because all I'm doing here is lighting up the garden and perhaps changing the colours. And I'm also looking into whether or not there's a wireless bridge that maybe I can get so I can control this via an Alexa app at some point. So I'll continue here for the next few minutes, basically wiring up the first circuit. We're using 240 going straight into these 60-watt RGB bulbs. So the retail price on these currently are £30.99 each, or I believe they do a 2-pack. In fact, I know they do a 2-pack, which is currently at £65.99 with a £2 or £4 voucher. Now, if you work this out, it's actually cheaper slightly to buy the single pack, so that's what I've done. Hallelujah! Now, of course, you don't have to cut these plugs off in a normal working environment. I wanted to do this and obviously install them into a waterproof conduit, which is what I'm doing here right now. You can just plug and play with these things. They're very easy to set up. Literally, plug it in, turn it on, hit the app, and then add the lights. They're there straight away. These can be used on multiple apps as well, so you're not limited just by your own app. Downloading this mesh light thing, though, is a very good idea, and get your head around how it all works. There are a lot of people asking if this can be controlled via Alexa. No is the answer, not at the moment. It's a Bluetooth only device. So that means playing around with it on your phone, that's pretty much the start, middle and end of it all. So what I've opted for here is to lay the majority of these either at ground level so the water can run off at a slight angle, or in the trees. Now it also says here that there can be up to 250 devices off of one unit, which is quite a tall ask, but I guess that could be fun. Here I've got 7. I've bought another few this morning, so I will also now have a total of 10 lights altogether. And like I say, no issues so far, and as always I will update if there are any issues. So to install all of these lights, it took me around about 2 hours here or there, and again, like I say, you can bury some of this cable. I bought also this from Amazon as well. I'll put the link in the description. You can bury it. It's waterproof, it's garden proof, it's probably not spade or shovel proof, but I've had no issues again. So far so good. So these have been up and running for the past few days. There's a few photos here of our garden currently. You can create some really good effects with these uplights. Certainly if you use the light to your advantage and bounce it off the trees and things like that, it also makes it look really, really good. Again, each of these lights are individually addressable via Bluetooth, so you can just whack that on your phone and change it to whatever colour you like, individually or as a group. So overall, I'm really, really impressed. Thank you again to Nicetai for sending these out. Links are in the description. And we will see you next time.